All right, guys, welcome to the opening day preview video for TIBL. I'm not going to do this every week. I may not even do this again for the rest of the season, but opening day, I thought it would be fun, and so I wrote up some stuff. We're going to go through a couple of preseason stuff, and then we'll get in and I'll do a couple videos for the different games going around the league today. All right, so opening day in TIBL, we had a trade. The Seattle Mariners sent Ken Hill, a very mediocre fifth starter, to the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles were down two pitchers, both suspended with during the juice section of our game. So the Orioles needed a starting pitcher, and they went and got Ken Hill. We're going back to Seattle is Jose Mesa. Much better player, Jose Mesa, going to Seattle. But in order to even it out, there needed to be a money exchange in order to make the salaries work and a fourth round pick. So the Seattle Mariners get Jose Mesa, and the Baltimore Orioles get Ken Hill. All right, also notables from the random events during our preseason. The Oakland A's and Whitey Ford. Whitey Ford spent some time with A's legend Lefty Grove, and his movement improved plus 40. Important to note here, and all these improvements, when you see these numbers, are like on a 1 to 10 scale, how did you go up plus 40? Well, because everything in here is 1 to 250, and then that gets translated into the 1 to 10 scale. So 240, or going up 40, is basically about a half a point here. But so Whitey Ford had an improvement by spending time with Lefty Grove. Also in the improvement scale, going to Montreal, Brooks Robinson, 16-time Gold Glover in real life, he spent a little time watching YouTube videos of Ozzie Smith, and he improved his range, his errors, and his arm. So Brooks Robinson went from high nines to off-the-chart tens and everything. Probably the best defensive third baseman in our league. On the other end, Kerry Wood of Colorado. He needs to mix in a salad. Kerry Wood came into camp completely overweight. He probably was sad he has to pitch in Colorado. Second round pick, but he comes in out of shape, gains 20 pounds, so he's up to 6'5", 240. Lost 50 on his work ethic. Lost 5 mile an hour on his fastball, which means he's throwing a blazing 89-91. And the -5 control of movement. Again, on a 1 to 250 scale, the control of movement, that wasn't that bad. But the overall effort on his work ethic and his miles per hour, we'll see how that affects Kerry Wood in Colorado. On the other end of that scale is Johnny Antonelli of the New York Yankees. He came into camp in the best shape of his life. Johnny Antonelli, he lost 10 pounds, increased his speed, his work ethic, his injury proneness he reduced. Fastball went up. Miles per hour, stamina, everything looking up for Johnny Antonelli. He's hitting almost 99 now. Antonelli primed for a big season in New York. From the steroid catalog, lots of people in our league on steroids. Several suspensions, a few injuries, but some of the big notices in the steroid news. Barry Bonds went on steroids, and it had no effect. Guessing that Barry has already done all the steroids, and there's just nothing that can affect him anymore. It's basically like an aspirin. But the guy who did have effect, Roberto Clemente, 36 years old, a very high pick in our league. Great ratings, great defensive player, great hitter, but Roberto got an unauthorized juice, which is just a random, which the owner had nothing to do with, where he got a plus 50 on power and eye, and the team put him on the juice, and he got another boost and a slight injury for 16 games. But that is an 80 increase to power, which translates to almost a 4 or 5 in here. So Roberto Clemente went from a high contact hitter to a guy who could be a 50, 60 home run hitting guy. In his career, he averaged 16 home runs in real life. I would not be surprised to see Clemente hit 50 in Colorado this year. So that's it from the steroid watch. So let's go on to our opening day matchups. Opening day matchup, Big one, rivalry game, Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees. Always a big game. And we've got two of our human teams with Pedro Martinez and Johnny Antonelli. Great pitching matchup there in New York. Red Sox at Yankees in the feature game of the day. Brewers at Orioles, Pena and Juan Marichal. Greg Maddux suspended, unable to start the Orioles game. A's at Mariners, another human matchup, and it's Sid Fernandez and Fernando Valenzuela. Excellent pitching matchup there in Seattle. Tigers, Indians, Herpel at Pryor. Rangers at Royals, Kluber at Lincecum. Twins at Angels, Koufax at Ojeda. Back into the NL in a human matchup. Phillies and Pirates, great pitching matchup of lefties. Madison Bumgarner and Steve Carlton. That's an exciting matchup going on there in Pittsburgh. In New York, we've got the Chicago Cubs and the New York Mets. Jim Palmer at Ron Darling. You may ask yourself why the Mets with Tom Seaver as their ace is not opening day. Well, apparently he pitched a couple days ago in spring training, and so he's too tired to pitch. So Seaver will pitch in a couple days, but opening day will get Jim Palmer and Ron Darling. Padres, Rockies, Welch at Hendricks. Expos, Giants. Here's a big matchup. Jack Morris at Randy Johnson coming from Candlestick Park. Braves and Cardinals, Blyleven and Glavine. And finally, Reds at Astros, Smoltz and Sale. So that's the preseason matchup for the TIBL. Coming up next, we'll have a couple games. Click on the one you want or just click the overall league highlights.